Here is what I'm going to make. This is what it looks like when it's finished. It's just a double-sided Minky blanket. It's super, super easy, even if you're a new, someone who's new to sewing. It's a fairly easy project. You can do it if you're a beginner, and you don't need very many things. So here's the tutorial. What you need for this project is a sewing machine with whatever color thread you want. I just chose white for this because this material really sucks up the seam and you can't see too much of it. You need a pair of sewing scissors, like fabric scissors, and some straight pins, and that's it. I forgot to tell you that each of the fabrics I got 1.5 yards. The first step is to lay your whichever fabric on the ground face up. I put a ruler right there just so you could see kind of how big a 1.5 yards of fabric is. This is a perfect crib size blanket. If you wanted to do more of a like stroller size, I would just do 1 yard. So I've laid my fabric out. After that, you want to lay the coordinating fabric or the second fabric on top of this one face side down to where the wrong side of the top fabric is facing you. So here it is all laid out. You can see that the pink is just a little bit longer, but that is okay. It doesn't matter. Now what you want to do is go ahead and you can either try and square it by folding one side over and matching the top fabrics and then just cut it even to where all the corners are even, or you can just leave it like this. I'm just going to leave it and then pin the blanket all the way around on each edge and make sure that you're going through both layers. So I just finished pinning all the edges. You can see all the pins like right there. They just need to be anywhere between 6 inches and 12 inches together, and it's just to keep the fabric from shifting. And I did go ahead and square mine. This fabric is really easy to do that because you just stay within, if you just follow the dots, like stay within the same line of dots, it makes it super easy. So I've left a bigger gap on one side from here to here. It's about 12 inches, and I've left that gap to be able to turn the edges, and or to turn it inside out, and I'll show you that. But just make sure you leave one side in the middle somewhere a bigger gap than what you've done with the rest of them. The next step that you're going to do is I've started at the side, at the pin right after the hole. So if you look, the long section that I'm going to use to turn it inside out is right there. So I'm going to start at this pin, and you're just going to do about 1 inch in, 5/8-ish around there, and just make sure you have both layers when you're sewing, and just go all the way down, all the way around until you get to the pin that marks where the inside out hole is. So just sew all the way around. I wanted to show you what I was talking about with, you know, the dots on the Minky make it easier, because if you can see my needle right there, just watch. I can just follow where these dots are to see where to sew. Okay, so I got to the marker for the hole. So now that I've got here, I am just going to take my pins out. Ooh, don't step on that. And take this out of the sewing machine and turn it right side out. Make sure to go around to your corners beforehand and trim these corners off. I'll actually just show you that because they'll look bulky. Okay, so I'm going to attempt this one-handed, but you're going to take your scissors and just cut the corners off like that, just so they're not bulky when you turn it right side out. It doesn't matter if they're even or anything like that. They're not going to be showing, they'll be on the inside, but just go cut all your corners like this and then turn the whole blanket right side out. So for those of you who don't know what I mean, here is the opening. Here's where I stopped sewing right here. Here is where I started sewing. Here is the opening. What you're going to do is put your hand in, find the corner, and bring it through like this. So do that with all of the corners. make sure to work the corners. That's why we cut that bulk part all the way out, like that. So I have turned the whole thing, just to show you. The whole blanket is turned right side out, and here is the hole. So what you're going to do now is pull this tight and pin. So it's pulled tight right here. So you're going to pin the hole shut and then start like go over it with a seam. It's easier to show you, so I'll just show you. So I'm going to pin this hole shut just to where that fold is nice and even, and then I'll show you the next step. Here is the opening. I don't want to show too much because it'll come out, but I've pinned it to where it's shut, and now what you're going to do is do a top seam all around the whole edge of the blanket, and that will actually shut this opening. So do about 1/4 to 1/2 inch top seam all the way around, and then I will show you the next step. Here is actually what I mean. This is where it's actually sewn shut. This is where the hole starts. So I'm going to just push this under. Let me show you. And that is a 1/2 inch that I have right here. And I'm just going to sew this whole part shut. Actually, I'm going to do 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to sew this shut. So if you see where my needle is, I'm just going to put that down. And sew all the way around at this this length. Make sure while you're doing it that you're pulling this taut. That way the colors will line up to where the seam part right here is right in the middle, and there's not one or a different color more on the top. Here is the finished blanket. I'm so excited about it. It took me exactly an hour, and I actually messed around with my bobbin for a bit, and I also trimmed this down a lot, so that took some time. So this is a really quick project. It's super easy. Here's how the little seam looks. It looks really finished, like it looks professional, and not, I don't mean like my skills at all. I mean just like it's a super easy blanket to look nice. I have to come right here and like trim these little seams where my bobbin messed up, or these little threads, but other than that it's finished. So the only thing that you could do further if you wanted, and this would be like a more advanced skill I guess, is right now the blanket is 2 pieces, so it can come apart like, hopefully I can show you, but like up like this, because it's not tacked together anyway in the middle. So what you could do here is just do some quilting like across and down just to keep it together. I'm not going to do that right now. I might choose to do it later, but for right now I'm just going to leave it. So this is the blanket. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and yeah, hope you enjoy. Talk to you later. Bye.